Hello, back again on the Top Recap channel. This time I will tell a movie entitled Kingsman: The Secret Service. Let's get straight into the storyline. The story begins by showing the Middle East. In 1997, a helicopter suddenly appeared, attacking a fortress. 4 people entered the fortress and carried out the action inside. Finally, the 4 of them managed to capture one prisoner and interrogate him, but the interrogated person suddenly activated the grenade on his body. One of the officers jumped, sacrificing himself to protect his friends. The officer was killed. The mission leader, Harry, was devastated. Harry explained that he would inform the family of his dead colleague. Back in London, Harry met the family of his fallen colleague. Harry gave a medal to his colleague's wife. Behind it was a telephone number. If the woman needed anything, just call the number. The colleague's wife refused because all she wanted was for her husband to return. However, that was not possible. Harry then gave the medal to his colleague's son, Eggsy. Harry told Eggsy to keep the medal. 17 years later, in the highlands of Argentina, a professor named Professor Arnold was kidnapped and kept there. In the midst of the captivity, a secret agent appears with the intention of freeing the professor. He was able to single-handedly defeat all the villains in there. After finishing eliminating all the criminals, it appeared from the front door that someone was about to enter. The agent walked up to the door, and suddenly, from behind, he was attacked by a woman until he was split open. The woman's name was Gazelle. The woman then covered the bodies on the floor with a cloth. Then, she opened the door and walked the criminal, Valentine. Valentine admits that he can't stand the sight of blood. He gets nauseous when he sees it. Valentine was surprised that someone else knew the secret location. He wondered who the agent was working for. Apparently, the agent killed by Gazelle was Harry's colleague. They are members of a secret service called Kingsman. Kingsman headquarters are in a tailor shop. Inside the headquarters, Harry immediately meets his leader, Arthur. Arthur leads a meeting with Harry and other Kingsman members who are around the world virtually. They mourn the death of one of their colleagues who had the codename Lancelot. Lancelot was an agent who had just died on a mission in Argentina. Due to the shortage of agents, Arthur wanted to hold a selection of agent recruitment to replace Lancelot's position. Arthur ordered each Kingsman member to send their respective candidates to be trained, and one was chosen to replace the dead Lancelot agent. A few moments later came one Kingsman member named Merlin. Merlin explained that Agent Lancelot was killed while investigating a group of mercenaries who were developing biological weapons. Lancelot investigated and finally arrived in Argentina. He tried to save a professor, but his efforts failed. Strangely enough, Merlin got footage of Professor Arnold, who had previously been kidnapped, now back on campus as usual. Arthur then told Harry to continue the Lancelot mission. Meanwhile, elsewhere, little Eggsy has grown up. At home, he was sent away by his stepfather, Dean, who was also a gangster leader, because his stepfather wanted to be alone with Eggsy's mother. Eggsy then leaves and heads to the bar to meet his 2 friends. There, Eggsy told him about the bad behavior of his stepfather, who often beat his mother. The conversation was overheard by Dean's men who were next to Eggsy's table. Dean's men were angry and kicked Eggsy and his friends out of the place. Not wanting to make a scene, Eggsy finally left Dean's men. But in front of the bar, it turns out that Eggsy had stolen the car keys belonging to Dean's men. Eggsy and his friends took the car while turning around and sped away. But they were forced to walk backward because they were chased by the police until finally the car crashed into the wall. Eggsy then told his friends to run while Eggsy would take care of this problem alone. In short, Eggsy is now in the police station. Because of his actions, Eggsy is threatened with imprisonment for 18 months. Eggsy then remembered the medal he had kept since childhood. Eggsy then called the number on the back of the medal and mentioned that he was in trouble at the police station. Because there was no answer, Eggsy finally hung up. But not long after, someone released Eggsy on bail, and it turned out that the person was Harry. Eggsy also remembered that Harry was the one who had given him the medal. Harry then took Eggsy to chat in a cafe. Harry tells Eggsy that he is still alive because Eggsy's father has saved his life. Eggsy's father is very brave and has a big heart. Harry really regrets Eggsy's behavior, who is now a bad boy even though Eggsy's IQ is quite high, and Eggsy also has skills in sports. In the middle of the conversation, suddenly came Dean's men, who wanted revenge because Eggsy had damaged his car. The punks then kicked Harry out of the place. But when Harry was about to leave, they said that Harry was a cowardly old man. These words made Harry angry. Harry then locked the door of the cafe and immediately beat the punks one by one. Harry's fighting skills are extraordinary despite his old age. With just his umbrella, Harry managed to knock out all the punks. When the shopkeeper was about to call the police, Harry immediately shot an amnesia needle into the shopkeeper's neck. Harry sat back down and explained that he was upset because one of his colleagues was killed. When Harry is about to shoot the amnesia needle at Eggsy, Eggsy begs not to be shot, and he promises to keep quiet and keep the secret. Harry did not shoot Eggsy and then immediately left the place. Upon returning home, Eggsy was immediately beaten by Dean. Dean asked who the person was who protected Eggsy in the cafe before. Eggsy just kept quiet and refused to answer, even though he was beaten. It turns out that Harry had previously attached a communication device to Eggsy's back. Harry, who heard that Eggsy was beaten by his stepfather, immediately spoke to Dean through the speaker and warned him not to beat Eggsy again. Harry then told Eggsy to go to a sewing shop that he had previously shown. But in front of the house, Eggsy had to meet with Dean's men. But with his high-level parkour skills, Eggsy managed to escape. Long story short, Eggsy arrived at the Kingsman tailor shop. Inside the shop, Harry was waiting for Eggsy. Harry then invited Eggsy to enter a room. Harry saw a lot of potential in Eggsy, but he wasted it. Harry saw that Eggsy was a loyal friend and could keep his word. Harry offered Eggsy the chance to become a member of Kingsman. Eggsy, who is curious, is then interested in the offer. Harry then pressed something that suddenly made the floor where they were standing lower. Harry then told the story that back in 1849, Kingsman's tailor had made clothes for the richest people in the world. Then, in 1919, a large number of the descendants of those rich people died in the war, so there was a lot of money left behind. They channeled their wealth and influence for the good of the world. And so, the international private intelligence agency Kingsman was formed, operating in complete secrecy, beyond the reach of politics and bureaucracy. After the elevator stopped, Harry and Eggsy entered a capsule. The capsule takes them to a distant place under a castle. After exiting the capsule, Eggsy sees a lot of vehicles, from military vehicles to airplanes, lined up in a hangar. Harry then takes Eggsy to meet the other friends who will also be potential replacements for the previously dead Agent Lancelot. Merlin then enters and explains that they will undergo selection for the most dangerous job in the world. Merlin shows 2 body bags on each participant's bed. He warned them that they must keep all information about the organization confidential. If they do not, they and their next of kin will end up in the bags. Merlin then left. One of the participants, Roxy, tried to calm Eggsy down, saying that Merlin's threat must have been a bluff. Another participant named Charlie and his friends then approached Eggsy and asked which campus Eggsy came from. After learning that Eggsy never went to college, they immediately bullied Eggsy. Eggsy then got acquainted with another colleague named Amelia. Elsewhere, Valentine asks someone to show a photo of Agent Lancelot. Still, the person he is talking to does not recognize him. Valentine explains that the person and his organization are trying to stop his efforts to save the world, which has become increasingly damaged. Apparently, Valentine was talking to a high-ranking official in the United States. Back at Eggsy's place, while they were sleeping, suddenly, there was a lot of water coming out of the floor, and it was getting higher and higher. They panicked. Other potential agents ran to the toilet and used the shower hose to get air. Meanwhile, the confused Eggsy swam to the door and tried to open it but failed. Eggsy then swam to the glass across the room and started banging on it, and finally, his efforts were successful. The glass shattered, and they were thrown into another room. Inside the room, Merlin was already waiting. Apparently, that was the first test. Merlin was amazed by the candidates who realized that the toilet could provide them with oxygen. Merlin also praised Eggsy for realizing that behind the glass, there was another room. However, Merlin mentions that they can't work together because one of them died because of this first test. From afar, Amelia's body can be seen lying stiff and motionless. The next day, elsewhere on campus, Harry meets Professor Arnold. Harry then forced Arnold to tell him who the kidnapper was and why Arnold was released again. Arnold then said that he couldn't answer him, and suddenly Arnold's head exploded. Harry was shocked to see it. From afar, 2 troops came after Harry. Harry then left the grenade and quickly fled the place. Elsewhere, Valentine is upset that someone has activated the security system on Professor Arnold's head. Valentine believes this person is not working alone, but there is an organization. Gazelle then explains that he has searched for info on all spy agencies around the world, but no one recognizes the organization they are dealing with. Valentine, who felt threatened, then told Gazelle to speed up the production of the goods they were about to launch. Meanwhile, inside the Kingsman headquarters, the selection participants were required to choose 1 dog. They must take care of and train the dog. Wherever they go, the dog must come with them. Eggsy chooses a dog and thinks the one he chooses is a bulldog, but it turns out to be a pug. Eggsy then visits Harry, who is lying weak and undergoing treatment. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Valentine's company is seen producing millions of SIM cards that are ready to be distributed around the world. Long story short, Harry has now regained consciousness. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Valentine invites the princess and prime minister of Sweden to dinner and offers to cooperate with them. After hearing Valentine's explanation, the Swedish princess calls Valentine a madman. She does not agree with Valentine's plan, and she leaves. In front of the room, the threatened princess asked for help from the guard. However, Gazelle, with her knife leg, was able to kill them all. Gazelle then took the princess somewhere. For those who agreed with Valentine's plan, they were given chip implants in their heads. Inside the headquarters, Merlin met Harry, who was talking to Eggsy. They discovered from the video footage that Professor Arnold had a chip implanted in his head that made his head explode. After the chip was traced, Merlin discovered that the chip's manufacturer was Valentine's company. Eggsy then remembered something if Valentine ever appeared on television. Valentine will distribute free phone SIM cards to everyone in the world. With that card, everyone can make free calls and access the internet forever. Harry then points out that one of the people around Valentine also appears to have an implant in their head. Harry then plans to go undercover and meet Valentine in person. The next day, Eggsy and the others do a parachuting exercise. Merlin tells them that one of them was not given a parachute. They panic. Eggsy invites them to join hands, but one panics and opens the parachute too early. The rest of them then come closer and join hands. They opened the parachute one by one until Eggsy and Roxy were finally left. Eggsy told Roxy to open the parachute and succeeded. Roxy then carried Eggsy until they successfully landed on the ground. Arriving on the ground, Merlin met them. From this test, only Eggsy, Roxy, and Charlie passed. The others were then told to go home. Eggsy was then angry about why he wasn't given a parachute. Merlin pulls something out of Eggsy's bag, and instantly, a parachute emerges. Later that night, Harry disguises himself as someone who wants to donate millions of dollars to the Valentine's Foundation. They have dinner together. As Harry is about to leave, Valentine becomes suspicious. Valentine puts a nano tracker in Harry's drink so he can track Harry's movements within a day from now. The next day, Harry reports the results of his meeting with Valentine to Arthur. He could only get a photo of a file inscribed with a church in the United States. Arthur then informs him that the number of important people disappearing is increasing, including the Princess of Sweden, who has recently been reported missing. Elsewhere, Valentine is seen holding the princess captive somewhere. Valentine deliberately imprisoned her until the princess changed her mind and agreed to the agreement he offered. Meanwhile, everyone is queuing up to get a free SIM card from Valentine. Meanwhile, inside the Kingsman headquarters, Merlin assigns the remaining candidates to interrogate the person in the photo. Later that night, the three of them carried out the mission together. But it turned out that the drinks they were drinking contained sleeping pills. The three of them fainted. After waking up, it was seen that Eggsy was tied to the railroad tracks. In front of him, Eggsy is interrogated by someone. He asks what Kingsman is and who Harry Hart is. Eggsy then replied that he didn't know them. The person claimed to have killed Eggsy's other two friends for not cooperating. From afar, the train was seen getting closer. Eggsy still didn't want to answer until a train finally hit him. It turned out that Eggsy still survived. It was a test. Eggsy was then invited into a monitor room to see Charlie, who would be tested. Unexpectedly, when tested, Charlie easily leaked the Kingsman's secrets. Charlie was automatically eliminated. Now, only Eggsy and Roxy are left. In his house, Harry tells Eggsy that the work he will carry out is very secret, and no one will thank him if they later save the world. Elsewhere, Valentine is scanning his palm to operate the machine that will soon be launched. Valentine wants the device to be powered only by himself. At noon, Harry invites Eggsy into the Kingsman tailor shop. He wants Eggsy to be measured for a suit as Eggsy's new uniform. In addition, the Kingsman's suit is bulletproof and can protect him. When going into the measuring room, it turns out that there are still other customers. Harry then invited Eggsy into another room. The room is a secret storage place for weapons Kingsman agents use, from poisonous knives that appear in shoes to matches that can become grenades. After finishing, they then left. Valentine unexpectedly came out of the measuring room as they were about to re-enter it. He was there to order a suit. Valentine tells him that he will meet the Queen of England, so he has to look presentable. Harry then suggested that Valentine buy a hat at the shop next door, because if he wanted to meet the Queen, he had to wear a formal hat. After buying the hat, it turns out it has been tapped. Now Harry and Merlin can eavesdrop on Valentine's conversation. The next day, Eggsy enters a room to meet Arthur. Eggsy was shocked when he was given the task of killing the dog he had been caring for. Eggsy's hands shaking. Eggsy replied, "He can't." Elsewhere, Roxy was also given the same test. Because Eggsy did not want to shoot his dog, he failed this selection. Roxy, who was willing to kill her dog, was now chosen to be Lancelot's successor agent. Eggsy left the headquarters and stole a taxi in front of him to go home. Upon returning home, Eggsy met his mother. Eggsy saw punch marks on his mother's face. This made Eggsy very angry. Eggsy immediately left the house in a stolen taxi to meet Dean and his men. When Eggsy was about to get off, something strange happened. The car moved by itself. Eggsy, who was upset about wanting to beat Dean, failed. It turns out that Harry controls the car. Harry takes Eggsy into his house. Harry scolds Eggsy for throwing away the opportunity to become a member of the Kingsmen because he refused to shoot his dog. Harry then explains that the gun used to shoot the dog previously contained blank bullets. Harry also explains that Amelia, who previously drowned at the beginning of the test, is still alive and working in the Kingsmen's technology department in Berlin. While talking, Harry is then called by Merlin. Merlin tells him that Valentine will do something at a church. Harry hurried to leave. Inside a church in Kentucky, America, Harry disguises himself as one of the congregants. From one of the CCTV cameras, Valentine sees Harry, who wants to leave. Valentine then rushed to turn a button, and an instant reaction occurred. The SIM cards on the mobile phones of the church members emit a strange wave and instantly affect the behavior of everyone there, including Harry. Everyone in the church went berserk, killing each other. Everyone was affected, whether they had a Valentine SIM card. Harry was also affected by the SIM card and killed everyone there. After finishing, Harry began to realize that Harry walked out of the church. Unexpectedly, Valentine and his men were waiting for Harry's arrival. Valentine immediately shot Harry in the head without further ado. Harry was killed instantly. Eggsy and the other Kingsman members who saw through the monitor screen were sad to see Harry die. Valentine then tells Gazelle to carry out his plan because the apocalypse will start tomorrow. Eggsy then meets Arthur inside the Kingsman headquarters. Eggsy asks what the Kingsmen are doing because Valentine has a SIM card that can trigger the apocalypse. Arthur then explains that they have obtained a recording of Valentine's crime confession, which has been handed over to the authorities for processing. Furthermore, Arthur then invited Eggsy to toast as a sign of respect if one of the Kingsman members died. Eggsy then notices a chip implant scar on Arthur's neck. The two of them then toasted, and unexpectedly, it turned out that Arthur claimed to have collaborated with Valentine. Arthur is willing to install a chip implant in his neck. Arthur then took out the poison activating pen and activated it. Unexpectedly, Arthur was in pain from the poison because Eggsy had swapped their glasses before the toast. Arthur died instantly. Eggsy then slashed Arthur's neck to take the chip on his neck. Eggsy also took Arthur's cell phone, which showed the time running backward before the apocalypse. Eggsy then shows the two items to Merlin. Only Merlin, Eggsy, and Roxy are left because they don't know whether the others are on Valentine's side. On the plane, Merlin explains that they will destroy one of Valentine's satellites so that Valentine cannot send signals to cell phones for a while. Meanwhile, Merlin tells Eggsy to disguise himself as Arthur and enter Valentine's headquarters to hack Valentine's network so that Merlin can shut down the system from the inside. Merlin tells Roxy to get ready because she will be in charge of destroying Valentine's satellite. Meanwhile, one by one, the state officials who collaborated with Valentine began to enter Valentine's secret bunker. Inside the plane, Merlin researches if the chip implant taken from Arthur's head can counteract the wave effect of Valentine's SIM card. However, people don't know that the SIM card can also explode according to Valentine's will. In short, they arrived at the top of a mountain. With a special device, Roxy begins to fly into the outer atmosphere to destroy Valentine's satellite, while Merlin and Eggsy continue their mission to infiltrate Valentine's bunker. Eggsy disguises himself as Arthur and then gets ready to wear the Kingsman's suit. Long story short, their plane finally entered Valentine's secret bunker. Disguised as Arthur, Eggsy managed to get into the bunker. Inside, Eggsy is tasked with finding an online laptop. Meanwhile, above the atmosphere, Roxy begins to target Valentine's satellite. Eggsy saw a high-ranking government official online using the local Wi-Fi. Eggsy then hacks into it and lets Merlin into the network. One of the balloons carrying Roxy exploded in the atmosphere, making it difficult for Roxy to shoot. Meanwhile, in the bunker, Charlie discovers Eggsy's actions, and it turns out that Charlie's family is also a follower of Valentine. With difficulty, Roxy managed to shoot a rocket towards the satellite. Roxy then descended back to Earth. Meanwhile, Eggsy, who had been caught, ran away, avoiding the pursuit of the guards. An angry Valentine then advances his plan. He will run the Doomsday Machine in 2 minutes. Inside the bunker, Eggsy continues to run, trying to avoid the pursuit of the guards. When the countdown time was finished, luckily, Roxy's rocket managed to hit Valentine's satellite. Valentine's action can be stopped for the time being. worrying. When Merlin was about to hack Valentine's device, it turned out he had to penetrate the biometric security system, which was impossible to hack. When Eggsy is back on the plane, Merlin tells Eggsy to return inside and ensure Valentine's hand doesn't touch his device. Eggsy is then told to choose from a variety of weapons, but of all the weapons in the place, Eggsy chose an umbrella instead. It turns out that Valentine prepared his spare satellite to replace the satellite that had just been destroyed. Eggsy then re-entered Valentine's headquarters. This time, the troops facing Eggsy were increasing, and he was surrounded from two sides. Meanwhile, the plane driven by Merlin was intercepted by missiles. Eggsy then remembered something. Eggsy asked if Merlin could hack the chip implant on Valentine's men's necks and activate the explosive device. Merlin then replied that he could. They did it right away. After pressing the enter button, instantly, the implants on the heads of all Valentine's men exploded. Not only Valentine's men, but the heads of everyone who worked with Valentine then exploded. From behind, Eggsy was surprised by Princess Sweden, who asked to be saved. Eggsy replied that he would save the world first, and then save the princess. The Swedish princess promised to give a special gift if she was saved. Apparently, the incident just now did not stop Valentine's action. After the satellite is ready, Valentine immediately presses the doomsday button. As long as his hand touches the table, all SIM cards worldwide emit waves that will make the affected person crazy and raging. Everyone was killing each other. Eggsy then rushes to stop Valentine. From below, Eggsy shoots at Valentine. For a moment, the apocalypse was stopped. However, from above, Gazelle jumps towards Eggsy. Valentine then presses the doomsday button again, sending everyone into a frenzy. Eggsy fights with Gazelle. With a knife in his boot, Eggsy jumps up and stabs Gazelle. Gazelle, who was wounded in the arm, was immediately poisoned and died instantly. Eggsy then took one of Gazelle's legs and threw it at Valentine. Valentine fell down and died. Everyone is now back to normal. Eggsy then took 2 empty glasses and a bottle of champagne. Eggsy ran to the Princess of Sweden and got a special gift from the Princess of Sweden. Long story short, Eggsy is now officially a member of Kingsman. Eggsy meets his mother, who is currently with Dean in the cafe. Eggsy invites his mother to stay with him because now he has a lot of money. However, Dean insulted Eggsy instead. Eggsy then locks the cafe door and throws a glass with his umbrella, making Dean fall. And the movie is over. Don't forget to click subscribe, like, and comment.